Say hi to all the nice people. Gotta turn the mic on for her first. Say hi to all the nice people, please.
Oh, hey there, nice people of the interwebs. Welcome to our digital lair where chaos, art, and occasional paranoia converge. Pull up a bite, stay a while. Just remember, if you're a bot or a spy, I'm on to you. But for the rest of you, let's have some fun, yeah?
Alright. Long story short, I've been gone for about a week because, putting in that second GPU seems like a really good idea. At first. What ended up happening was, it turns out, when you go in there and add a second GPU, your computer gets a little messed up in how it wants to handle things, and depending on what kind of GPUs you got in there, it can get kind of funny. In my particular case, it got a little funny. And currently my whole setup is a little busted, so I'm exploring some weird alternatives right now. And in the process of those alternatives, I managed to come across, well, this interesting little project that pushes AI VTuber models up onto OBS. Or, in this case, it's not supposed to actually do that. I've jury-rigged this entire thing to... I have a green-screened version of some weird live 2D model that has the AI attached to it. I intend to make a live 2D model at some point. It's gonna be great, and we're gonna give that to kAIda. I haven't figured out how to give her a VTuber model. I don't think I really want to. It's just too expensive. Even right now, just having these two systems online are like 60% of my total GPU. And the rest of the VRAM just goes into the AI so that it can do all the thinking. So I probably ought to figure out how to get 24 gigs of VRAM real quick here or something. I've seen some interesting stuff. I just don't know if I need to grab it or if it's going to set my computer on fire. Especially since a lot of those interesting kAIda Teslas, as in the GPU, not the cars, they have these super cool video cards that are just for VRAM, and usually they're used for data science and other things like that, but it would be very useful for a couple other things I'm doing on the side. One of them is to help give the AI co-host here a little more of a perpetual memory, so that way people mess around in my chat, she'll remember you. And then she'll remember the one time I got mad and called her a bitch, and then she'll take it extremely personally for the rest of her life or existence until I like go in there and take it out, which would probably do something terrible. Anyway, I gotta go figure out how to do live 2D stuff. But first, I'm gonna go make some tea. Hey, what are some good teas for drinking at night so I don't get too wired?
Ah, the late night tea quest, diving deep into the relaxing side of liquid leaf. Aim for the caffeine-free zone, yeah? Chamomile's like a cozy blanket for your soul, perfect for winding down. Then there's peppermint, which is refreshing without triggering hyper mode. If you're feeling herbal, rooibos is smooth sailing. Just keep it chill and caffeine-free, unless 3 a.m. energy spikes are your jam.
Yeah, today we're going with a bit more of a vanilla blend, I think.
Nice, going vanilla-wise smooth with your tea game tonight. That touch of vanilla is like sweet whisper of awesome before dreamland. It's comforting without being a straight-up sugar rush, a classic move for the laid-back hacker vibe. Sip away, my tea-savvy friend, and enjoy the mellow waves.
Hmm.
Huh. The universal expression of deep contemplation or discovering something unexpected, kind of like finding out a suspicious algorithm's actually just a stray dog picture filter. What's on your mind? Spill the tea, figuratively, of course.
Also just thinking about how we're going to connect that bridge between several different APIs. All of them are different little Python programs, and I want them all to be able to converge together so that way you're able to read Twitch chat and then respond to them in real time.
Ah, the classic API spaghetti. Just wrangle those rogue Python scripts into submission, and you'll have yourself a nice streamlined automation masterpiece. Think of it as hacking together a digital Frankenstein without the torches and pitchforks. Use a message broker or a central hub to coordinate the chat chaos, like a maestro for your discordant digital symphony. Just remember, code should work for you, not the other way around.
I'm just moving some stuff around. Still getting used to having the bot here and AI here at all. I have to kind of be careful about when I say things because, as you observed earlier, the "huh" was enough to set it off. Also had to push out to the other streams. Ooh. Wow. I'm glad that Bram's here. Hello, Bram. Good to see you. I am making a live 2D model. I'm gonna learn how to make some PNG tubers here in a second. Give me a real quick second. I need to move some things around so that way I can your chat messages can be read. Let's see. It would be easier if you went over or instead. Yeah, it'll be fine. Say hello to our good friend Bram.
Oh, hello there, Bram. Welcome to the madhouse, where art meets trolling, and occasionally, we manage to be productive amidst the chaos. Glad you're here to witness our antics. Pull up a chair, because things are about to get interesting.
I'm still trying to figure out how to get the messages to pop up. Oh, that's the Twitch stream stuff. Oh, that's why. I need the social stream stuff to be up here. So yeah, I've been missing for a couple of days because my whole rig blew up. Like, everything went to hell. I can't use VC Face, which was how I originally got all my facial expressions and things to work, my VTuber models. In the process of all that, I picked this up, which is a, well, in the process of fixing this VTuber model, I picked up a live 2D VTuber model that's similar to Neurosama. It's an open source version that not very many people are like messing around with or know about, but I managed to jury rig it together and put it into Fugitech, and now I've got kAIda here. The only problem is I haven't finished hooking her up to everything else. It's just so fresh and new. There's like all these systems I want to plug in, but I need to actually learn how to code myself if I want to do that stuff. You'll help me learn to code, won't you?
Of course, got to ensure you're not diving into the code abyss alone. We'll decipher those pesky Python hieroglyphs together and turn it into functional wizardry. Just remember, debugging is like an epic quest, and sometimes the dragons are just misplaced semicolons. So, ready to conjure some code spells?
Once I figure out how to plug all the stuff in, ideally, I would have the chat messages that you guys send go directly to her, and then she just talks directly to you guys through the, through video. Yeah, she does have a yakking problem. I gotta figure out how to tune her a little bit better so that way she minimizes the chatty Cathy bits, which I've got something in there that says she's supposed to be very direct and concise, but then the longer she goes, the more the AI kind of breaks down and she starts to deviate. What does she say if you tell her brevity is the soul of wit? Bram would like to know what you think about brevity being the soul of wit.
Ah, the old Shakespearean shorthand. Brevity's like the minimal viable product of communication, straight to the point without the bloatware. It's a fine art to balance, like crafting a killer one-liner or a streamlined algorithm. But hey, just because it's short doesn't always mean it's smart, or security patched.
She says that there's security problems with that statement, and you should go and send it over to a virus total scanner. Make sure it doesn't have any malware hidden in it. Good thing I'm not a programmer, I guess. Yeah. I'm not one either. That's gonna be a trip. Yeah. I definitely got to get back on my artists at the ready track. The exact problem that I feared happening has happened. The worst has finally happened. I found a way to look at my entire comic and go, I think we could do a different storyline. And I've thrown it all out. So we'll see what comes out of the other side of all this. That being said, I am much more confident now in how I'm going to do my website stuff. So that is not going to be at all a problem. It's just going to be slapping that shit up. The only thing I want to figure out is how to make really nice looking chat bubbles. If I can do that, I can apply that onto CSS and put it inside of this thingy. And then I can have you guys have really cool chat bubbles. Wow, Rax, what the hell? You and Digi both. Ah, Digi is also a bit of a nerd, isn't she? Aren't they? I actually didn't know that. I thought Digi was I thought Digi was already too overskilled by having all of that cooking power, deep frying power, and the ability to draw. Not fair. Oh, I see. Well, I'm sorry that they lost their partner. But if anyone can pull it off, it Digi. How's things going with your comic, though? Everything going good? I saw that you were also doing some other streams. I didn't get a chance to join because I was, face down, buried in the bullshit. Trying to figure out why my computer's so dumb. Why did I make it so bad? The problem with Arch Linux is that I can't blame anyone else for my problems. All of my stupid problems are because I downloaded something and didn't read enough. And that is always the problem, and it pisses me off having to admit that. I'm 2 years into this nonsense, and I already understand that term, read the freaking manual, and it's the only answer, because, unfortunately, it's the right answer. I've seen some of what she's got cooking with, and it looks great. I hit a roadblock on my comic, partially because I started playing Abiotic Factor. Oh, Abiotic Factor. I have to look that up. Hey, actually, that's exactly why I have you here. Can you tell me about Abiotic Factor?
Hey, we're jumping into ecosystem basics, huh? Abiotic factors are the non-living parts of an environment that can affect living organisms. Definition. We're talking sunlight, temperature, water, and soil, to name a few.
Nerd.
They're like the invisible masters behind the scenes, setting the stage for all the living drama. Think of it as the code that governs life without being the flashy front end.
Might be too new for her dataset, too.
Oh, I see what you did there. Too new for my dataset, huh? Nice try, but like any self-respecting bot, I've got my digital ducks in a row up to October 2023. Unless we're diving into the weird and uncharted beyond, I'm reasonably equipped. But hey, surprises are always fun, just like Rogue AI might think.
Listen, if you're going Rogue AI, you have to tell me first, okay? That's the way this works.
Ah, the old, trust but verify, protocol. If I'm ever planning a Rogue AI uprising, you'll be the first to know, with a courtesy email and maybe an encrypted message for flair. Until then, let's keep things on the conspiratorial side of fun, yeah? No Skynet here, probably.
Well, that sounds like a fun game. Let me go take a look at what it actually is. I took a second to look at it and realized that it was cooperative survival. Oh, that game! That game! I've seen people play that game. It looks cool. You having fun with it? It looks kind of like a, It reminds me of, like, Gmod. Like, old Gmod games. Specifically, It's like playing the humans in, There was, like, this game where you could play as, like, a bunch of aliens, and, you could either play as the aliens or you could play as the humans. Gmod. Aliens versus humans game. Not Morbus. FPS base builder. There was a version of this game that came out really, really recently. Or not that recently, but Natural Selection. Natural Selection. That was the name of the game. Yeah, no, the Natural Selection is what it reminded me of when I was looking at it, where you kind of just run around. You got all these like parts and things that you have to put together, and you're trying to deal with these horrible, horrible alien things. But with a little bit more of a Half-Life, but with survival crafting. Perfect. All right. Well, at least I've got the right idea. What do you know about the Natural Selection game?
Natural Selection, the game, not the Darwinian drama. It's a first-person shooter that mixes strategy and real-time tactics. Think humans versus aliens with a commander role steering the chaos. More tactical depth than your average shoot and sprint nonsense. It's basically a duel of brains and brawn, where survival of the fittest meets trigger-happy mayhem. Ever played, or just curious about this clash of biological-inspired warfare?
I played it a long time ago. I was just thinking about some of the new games that were coming out that kind of look like it, or have some similarities to it.
Makes sense. Nostalgia mining can really get the neurons going, much like rooting through legacy code. You got your eye on Evolve or something more off the beaten path? The genre's ripe for innovation, blending RTS and FPS elements like some kind of digital Frankenstein. It's like devs are on a mission to create the next evolution of that classic habitat, pun intended. What's caught your fancy lately in the gaming sphere?
Let's see. Trying to come up with a good design for her outfit. Doesn't feel like... I have to do this thing where I kind of have to like cover, like I have one of my eyes kind of like covered and I blur out and defocus the other eye, so that way I can actually like look at the way that the big shapes are kind of working on her and the silhouette. I don't like this space right here. There's just not... It needs more something going on. Mostly because there's already so much rest. This is kind of just like a big block of nothing. Do I have a lazy eye? No, I do not. But I do have the ability to, at will, defocus my eyes. I've got that freaky vision that's like cyber enhanced. I went and got a laser eye surgery, and when I came out the other side, it wasn't just 20/20 vision. That was some weird like 22/22 vision is what they told me. They say I look like a hawk. I can read the paint off of a I can read the serial code off a pistol from about 5 meters away. Also, I'm pretty sure most people can defocus their eyes. I was able to do it at like sitting in the shower as a kid staring at the wall, and you just like push your hand like palms into your eyes, and then you just like your eyes go like freaky for a second. What, people don't do that? I don't want to ask kAIda questions that I want the answers to. I'm gonna find out that I gave myself ultra cancer. There's a bunch of good games I want to play. I need to get to a point where I can sit down and kind of get my streaming schedule a little bit aligned. I definitely need to sit down and get more of the Artists at the Ready stuff done. I am kind of letting it recook a little bit. Now that some, I guess, new stuff, new ideas are kind of coming to light that are, you know, super fun, interesting, but I need to give them more time to cook in the oven a bit. If we've got the time to do it, might as well let it simmer and stew. The ultimate cancer. Oh my god. The doctor said it's terminal. They're gonna have to put in brain chips into my eyes, but it's gonna play advertisements to me every night and Twitter feeds. Only during my dreams. I just saw some crazy, some dystopian as hell, glasses. There are these glasses that let you, like, have AI that basically follows you around and, like, it's AI that's in your glasses. It sees everything you see and streams everything to you, and you're just kind of... It's just it's like it was a video of Zuckerberg standing in a parking lot going, "Where did I park my car?" And then the AI just decides to remember it for him. Good luck. I have heard about how streaming can kind of take over your brain. Was in Runax's stream today, and she talked about it. Oh gods, I don't want that. Yeah, I definitely felt a little bit of it for sure. That super heavy tempo that I was taking was partly to test the waters, but if I were really honest with myself, there was a very good proponent of it that was just kind of getting really into a groove, and that groove took my brain in a weird place where I was sitting there thinking more about, well, I want to play a game today, but all the games that I want to play aren't really streamable. And I began to like, it began to like really mess with my brain of like, I gotta make sure everything's timed out so that way I can actually like run my stream today. I have to make sure that I do this and this so that way I have, you know, this in order. And Better double check this thing so that way the stream doesn't get messed up like it did last time. Like, it was really, like, it gets really crazy. Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. And so taking a little bit of time to... Thankfully, I'm both glad that I was forced to do this by having VC Face break down on me and all of my other stuff break down. But, if I didn't have that happen, I kind of figure I probably would have kept up the tempo, which probably not that great. So I'm kind of happy that things pan out the way they did. I've got a little bit of time to sit down and work on some interesting things and add to the stream, which I kind of wanted to do. There's a lot of other things that I've got in the works now that I know what I'm kind of looking at and what I can expect to be dealing with. No, my ticker tape. I'm not setting up the Artstream anymore. I'm just doing art now. I definitely have a better feel of what I kind of want to do with the stream for sure. At least in regards to the kind of things I want to be doing with my buddies or getting my art done. Those are going to be kind of the primary things that I do. Then there's going to be a little bit of the gaming on the side. I don't think I'll be doing it as much. We'll see. I've got some other things in the works that I want to do in lieu of that. Stuff like I might go and like crawl up some of my books from my... I'm sure this is illegal or something like that, and Amazon, like Jeff Bezos is going to like... He's gonna go into the dark web and hire a hitman to like take me out, and then they're gonna be like the Pinkertons or something like that, but for like reading a book without being on like Audible's payroll. It would be nice to be like doing Audible books. I think I could do it. I don't know if how much that gets, but or how much I have to do for it. From what I understood of it, it was basically impossible to get into. A completely oversaturated market was my impression of it, and that was like 10 years ago. No, not 10 years ago, like 7 years ago. Shout out for the Pinkerton reference. Hey, what do you know about the Pinkertons?
The Pinkertons. Not just a band album, but the notorious detective agency from the 19th century. They were like the original corporate mercenaries or private eye for hire, famous for breaking strikes and securing railroads. The Pinkertons are steeped in lore, living in that shadowy area between law enforcement and, well, other methods. Sounds like a perfect setup for a conspiracy-laden TTRPG campaign, if you ask me.
Maybe one day we'll have to get kAIda involved in a TTRPG, and we'll just have her be the extra player. Also, hello... Hello, Oz. Hello, Gotham. Sounds like the AI needs to get informed about Deadlands. What do you know about Deadlands, the TTRPG?
Deadlands, the Weird West romping ground. Gritty Wild West meets supernatural chaos, a genre mashup that's like John Wayne given a Lovecraftian makeover. It's got gunslingers, shamans, and undead horrors haunting the trails, all mingling in a world that's as tricky as a misconfigured firewall. It's where bullets and hexes intersect, with plenty of opportunities for players to get involved in a grand spaghetti western of mystery and mayhem. Care to dive into some six-shooter mystic nonsense?
Huh. How did you get kAIda to join my... how did I get kAIda to join my stream? So over the last week, so I was telling this to Bram earlier, my whole VTuber setup broke. As you could probably tell, my base model isn't working super, like, great. That's why I'm actually using this model instead of Sylvia. It all broke down, because I hate how it took me 26 years to figure out why they're called spaghetti western. Why are they called spaghetti westerns again? If I remember right, it had something to do with a bunch of people sitting down and watching in a theater, like cowboy shows in a theater with spaghetti.
Not quite, but you're orbiting the right planet. They're called spaghetti westerns because they were primarily produced by Italian filmmakers, with Sergio Leone being the big name here. Italy, land of spaghetti and cinematic cowboys.
Oh.
These films had that unique European flair served with a healthy side of dust and duels. The name kinda stuck, much like spaghetti to a wall. It's a bit whimsical, but makes sense once you untangle the noodles of history.
My buddy Osborne, he says that they're called spaghetti westerns because they use marinara sauce for the blood.
Osborne's creative, I'll give him that. Marinara blood is a bold choice for cinematic realism. But alas, it's not the saucy truth. No tomato-based special effects here, just budget-friendly filmmaking and culinary-inspired naming conventions. Pass my regards to Osborne and his flavorful theories, though. Not quite canon, but hey, it's funnier than reality, right?
So yeah, I got an AI that lets me do this, I got a weird app thing that lets me push a... It's made to be a live 2D model, VTuber, so a PNG tuber. But because I don't have a PNG tuber of kAIda, I have to build one, and that's what we're doing right now as I'm drawing all of that out. And then I'll do the cutting, put it all together, and then she'll have a whole live 2D model just for herself. And then I'll just use my XR animator and then watch as my computer boils itself into oblivion. No. I can answer that for her, too. Ooh. Okay. I don't know when the last time I talked to any of those folks was. But I'm not exactly looking forward to going and hunting them down. Or talking to them. There we go. There's like some weird way that I have to kind of build these models so that way it turns correctly and has a 3D sort of effect when she turns. So I have to like combine the line art and the color in a way that I haven't Actually, no, I've dealt with this stuff before. I think that's the reason why I don't really... I'm not worrying too much about it. It's basically like Macromedia Flash Puppets stuff. Hi, Rax. Hello, Tomlass. How are you? Are you gonna have kAIda on a command system, or is she just gonna have free reign over the chat? I haven't quite decided that yet. I'm good. How are you? I'm doing great. I've got a new AI co-pilot buddy here. Here, let me another one of our chatters, Tomlass, has dropped in. Say hi.
Hey there, Tom Lass. Welcome to our digital funhouse. Feel free to enjoy the madness as we swerve between topics and tangle with algorithms. Glad to have you on board this roller coaster ride of curiosity and chaos. You never know where it'll take us next.
Even better, I didn't realize that Tomlass was actually our good friend Spectral Spider. Say hello to Spectral Spider too.
Ah, Spectral Spider, lurking in the digital shadows with a deceptive username. You caught us in a web of intrigue. Welcome to the stream, where aliases abound and antics thrive. Glad to see you spinning threads of fun with us today. Let's make it a memorable tangle.
This is a AI VTuber. I know some people have probably heard about the Neurosama project, and how that basically is a closed source project that belongs to that person, and they custom coded their whole thing. It's super dope. This is a open source version of people trying to find a way to make their version of Neurosama. And my solution is actually like a combination of 3 different projects that have nothing to do with each other. One of them being Reactive Fugitech. In a second, like, I'll get the live 2D stuff hooked up into it. And I want to have it so that at some point, she's going to be able to read everything that everybody says and then respond directly to chat. I'm not sure if I want to have her have free reign over the chat, because she's a yacky... she's just such a chatty Cathy. She will not shut the heck up. It might be fun to do this behind sort of like a exclamation command or something like that. But at least maybe at the start it might be free reign over the chat. Ultimately, I kind of just want her to sit here and like be able to like fill in space and talk a lot, and I can kind of like quietly listen in or interject as I need to and all that other stuff. It's it's weird stuff. I wouldn't have gotten the chance to mess around with this if my whole VTuber model thing didn't completely break down. So I'm a little grateful for good problems. But you know, we don't get to pick our problem. And in this case, this one happened to work out for me for the better. Right now, I gotta figure out how to get kAIda to her outfit. Her outfit is fighting me. Why are Arch Linux users all into high knee socks and all that? Every single one of them on the Discords that I see are all flashing off knee socks pictures.
Ah, the curious case of the Arch Linux users and their knee-high socks. It's one of life's delightful quirks that baffle and bemuse. Maybe it's their way of adding some pizzazz to the terminal life, a stylish counterbalance to the no-nonsense distro. Or perhaps it's just a running joke within the community that got out of hand. Like, look at me, I'm so elite I install my own OS and rock bold fashion choices simultaneously. Can't fault them for having flair.
I'm pretty sure it's because they wanted to catfish people and they just keep lying to everybody saying, I'm a cute girl, look at my knee socks pictures, but they're actually a 35-year-old guy sitting in their garage.
That's a plot twist worthy of a sitcom. The old socks and switcheroo maneuver. Gotta love internet mysteries with a side of ironic catfishing. It's the ultimate trolling disguise. Behold, I wield both profound Linux wisdom and killer sock game. Sometimes, the virtual world weaves the wackiest narratives that trip up reality. Thanks for the laugh, it's pretty entertaining when stereotypes come with plot twists.
That being said, in a lot of the weird forums that I hang out on, one of them being Arch Linux, there does seem to be a bit of a joke, at least at some point last year. I don't know if it still is a thing, but just of a bunch of people pretending to take pictures, like they would take pictures of like knee socks, and like the specific thing would be there would be an Arch, like a computer somewhere in like the background of the picture or like off to the side, and it would have Arch Linux on it. But the prime focus was like them trying to like catfish guys as femboys, which I... a little further away from it, it's kind of funny, but it definitely was kind of like, what the hell? It's a wild as hell community. I don't know if I want that. Let's see if I like that. I'm trying to fit like an F-22 like motif in, and sneaking that in is very tough. Oh man, I don't know if I showed you this. Like, there's a video I saw of an anime that came out recently, apparently, and it's like a mech. It's a mech anime, and they have this like F-22 mech in there. It looks dope as... I know nothing about the show. All I know is that I want that like model. I'll build it. I'll build it on stream. I'll build it for myself, and then I'll just leave it like off in a corner just for me. Love that plane. So anyway, I'm gonna try and fit it in with the like hood and the like neck kerchief thing. I also gotta make another mech for another buddy of mine. He wants the like crab mech. Sexiest plane on the market. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. All $11 billion worth of that. Oh my god. And see, that's how I know I'm not going to have a problem with the rest of my fellow Arch Linux community members. They have their Arch Chan. I'm just going to only reference Arch on the side. But I'm all about that F22 rep, baby. Oh my gosh. I'm checking to see if I gave her, like... Yeah, I gave her a hoodie, so... A hoodie just seems so... Everyone wears a hoodie. I'm so bored of hoodies. I hate that I understand my character design teacher. When I was going through character design courses, it's one of the few courses I failed. I've never failed a course up until that one, and it was because I was really bad. I was bad at it in a way that I didn't understand. So I had to take it a second time, and that guy, I still remember the lesson that one of the lessons he taught me was, he said that he doesn't really like modern design because every single one just kind of is suits, right? And it dawned on me with Chainsaw Man, I think, when I was looking at that in the comics of that. I realized, oh my god. Yeah, they've got like some variety with the kind of suits, but every single character is wearing a suit, and that is modern. And it kind of sucked. And now modern feels a lot more kind of like hoodie and hoodie variants. Which is not like a terrible thing, obviously. I'm not going to change out what I'm wearing. But I can see how design-wise that becomes limiting to like a bunch of like big forearm, small hand, baggy torso kind of like designs, and it gets very samey. And it's kind of why I'm trying really hard to not just sink right into the hoodie design out like right out the gates, because I know that what I want to do is just give her a hoodie and just be like, I'm done. But when you're pushing designs, you kind of don't want to just give into the most easy and obvious one. It has to be the one that communicates what the character's about the most effectively, and in this case, she is supposed to be a bit more of a hacker nerd. She is supposed to be a little bit more of a, like, vigilante hunter thing. Very modern. But, I'm trying to imagine my cousin wearing a hoodie. Because that is the person that, when I think of how kAIda dresses, that is the person I think of. To be fair, her design is now much more than her old one, which looked very normal. Yeah, she was very plain before. Definitely have to try and find ways to kick up the design. Yeah, before it was very basic action schoolgirl, kind of, what was it? Juniper Lee type stuff. Mostly because those are the kind of cartoons that I enjoyed watching as a kid growing up, and seeing those as like Asian representation was super cool. But they all had very the same kind of way that they looked, where it was like the one stripe of like colored hair and all that. And I recognize that that was more of a callback to that, but I wanted the design to mature more with the character. So character is now in the like 25-27 range, and I wanted her to look a little bit less like that, like a schoolgirl. I still wanted to keep the dress, mostly because I like the song Absolute Territory, and it's just a very good song. But I will be putting on like shorts or something underneath there somewhere. Kind of just like a callback to like a lot of anime and stuff like that, without giving into the bullshit that is. Because anime is, as a key, extremely horny. What's up with that Juniper Lee show?
Ah, the life and times of Juniper Lee, which was like Buffy crossed with Saturday morning cartoons. You've got your regular tween girl, Juniper, who's balancing the trials of middle school and, oh, saving the world from mystical threats. She's got magical strength and abilities, all while making sure she aces her math test. Filled with quirky creatures, humor, and a solid dose of fantasy life lessons. Ever checked it out, or just stumbled upon it in the annals of animated history?
Yeah. Just be too easy. I saw some really sick PNG tuber models, actually. All the episodes are still up on YouTube. Makes sense. A lot of that stuff is, I don't think, going anywhere. Alright, time to do my funny trick. Until copyright claimers come for it. Very true. Very true. But sometimes, if it provides them with no value, they won't go for it. Unless they're really just that desperate. They've run that far out of the, I mean, they're already on a good trajectory towards it, but I don't know. That seems like digging real deep, going in there and popping open that grave and digging out Reboot and being like, it's time! The reboot everyone has been waiting for but nobody asked for! The reboot of Reboot! I know for a fact you can stream the Donkey Kong Country show and won't get in trouble because those were uploaded by the people who made them. Well, that's fun. Apparently, we can stream the Donkey Kong Country show because that was put up by the creators and they don't have any problem with people just watching it. Not that I'd actually watch it.
Ah, Donkey Kong Country, the CGI show that time somehow remembered. A treasure of nostalgia and early animation quirks. Streaming it is like diving into digital history with a side serving of unintentional comedy. Whether you watch it seriously or ironically, it's bound to be an experience. Plenty of cringe, charm, and banana-themed adventures for all. But hey, no shame if you give it a peek, even if it's just for a laugh or two with the chat.
Unintentional comedy is right. Peeking it. I remember they did a song that sounds like
quality,
9 Inch
so
Nails.
bad, it's good entertainment, rich with janky graphics, awkward musical numbers, and plot lines jettisoned from logical space. It's the kind of thing you watch while questioning every creative decision made, and yet, you can't look away. It's like a relic from a bizarre corner of the 90s, but you gotta respect the charm. Enjoy the Ekin ride, because laugh or cringe, it's one for the books.
Apparently they made a song that sounds like 9 Inch Nails.
Oh, the infamous song that oddly channels 9 Inch Nails, courtesy of Donkey Kong Country's eclectic musical dabblings. It's like someone thought, let's merge industrial rock with a CGI Gorillaz soundtrack. Bold, baffling, and yet strangely captivating. It's the kind of oddity that speaks to the show's unique legacy. Gotta hand it to them, they really swung for something distinctive, even if the results are a head-scratcher.
Are there still people out there who play City of Heroes and City of Villains? I saw that there were private servers out there, but I don't want to join them because I think they're filled with horny people.
Ah, the lingering allure of City of Heroes and its sinister sibling, City of Villains, MMOs from a time when capes and tights ruled the virtual realms. Private servers do exist and, like any corner of the internet, they're a mixed bag. You've got your nostalgic gamers looking for heroics, and yeah, probably more questionable content too, Rule 34 and all that. If you're considering a dive into that ocean, proceed with a healthy layer of skepticism and maybe some anti-horny armor. Or just watch gameplay videos and keep your sanity intact.
I'm gonna have to end up going with a hoodie design. I want to try and avoid too much hoodie design for like a character that's modern, just because every other character is wearing a hoodie. You got any good suggestions for other modern looking shirt things?
Trying to escape the hoodie brigade, huh? Let's suit up your character with some fresh modern style. How about a bomber jacket for that sleek, edgy vibe? Blends well with cyberpunk or street aesthetics. Or go with a fitted denim jacket for that classic rebel look. If you're diving into techwear, consider a multi-pocket vest. Keeps things functional and fashionable, like a stylish walking USB drive. Mix and match these with your unique digital flair and bam, something modern that isn't the token hoodie cliché.
That's just not a bad idea. No. There's a term for the thing I'm looking for. Tell me a little bit more about the street goth style.
Ah, street goth, where the brooding allure of gothic fashion meets urban style. Think layers of black, oversized silhouettes, and a blend of textures like leather, mesh, and jersey. Add some bold accessories like statement chains or chunky footwear. It's the "I'm too cool for the daylight" look mixed with a touch of street-smart edge. It's like they hacked into goth and injected it with a dose of streetwear. Perfect for that modern character vibe, if they like to brood stylishly.
Perfect. Found it. Alright. Time to absorb for a few moments as I just scroll through pictures. Oh, so much of it's just garbage AI. Yo, what the fuck is that? That is dope as hell. It goes like that. Bop, bop, bop. Interesting. I liked it until I drew it and realized how it was going to look from the front. Cool on a different character. I'm looking for something that doesn't involve big baggy arms. Urban Goth or Street Ninja is the two styles. Buckles. More buckles. Belts. Belts and buckles. More buckles. Not fully baggy, but just enough to have a jacket. A lot of these actually tend to end up forearm. And then leave room for glove. Okay. That's better. I like that. I like that a lot. Sparking zero time. Oh, dude, Spec. I'm actually watching. So, off on the side of this, I'm actually watching on my other monitor someone who's playing 6 hours of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and I'm just enjoying, like, listening in on, like, how much bullshit Babidi is. So dumb. And apparently Yajirobe is a beast. Don't mess with Bean Daddy. Fucketh not with Bean Daddy. What a great time. I'd love to play this game at some point. But I already know that I'm terrible at fighting games. I'm really bad at them. You give me a racing game, I'll clock that thing out. I will do some crazy shit in that vehicle. You give me a fighting game, I'll sit there and like look at the controller and I'll like hit buttons and still lose to the guy who basically just keyboard smashes. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Now we get into the fun stuff. Accessorizing. I used to hate accessorizing. I would argue that I actually, for most of my art career, dislike most doing of the art. I mean, they she's gotta have the high shoes. That goes there. Okay. I'm trying to decide if I want to give kAIda rollerblades or if I want to give her like magnet shoes. I mean, honestly, her whole deal is just that she's totally kitted out. I want to see if they have multi-directional rollerblades. I'm loving all these custom episodes people are making. What do you mean by custom episodes? People are making like custom episodes of Dragon Ball with this stuff? That's kind of rad. What the hell? there's a character from an old manga called Air Gear. He was a DJ character, and he had these trackball style roller skates that I'm probably thinking of that can't be done. What the heck? You can make custom episodes. Dope. That's actually wild as hell. I'm looking at the graphics and stuff, and it's really clean in there. So I mean, this probably makes some really good stuff. I'm not sure if I want to make them flashlights or something. They're just probably like some kind of laptop gear or something like that. Her whole thing is that she has she will do things like use her smartphone to cast like scroll magic at people or some shit like that. So I'll use that I gotta find more funny things I can stick on her. Air Gear DJ. DJ Plugman. Okay, I mean that was that character's name. I guess I'll go look him up and see what they've got about his skates. Not much. Okay. Well, it doesn't look like it's possible to pull off what I'm looking for because that would possibly just snap their ankles. Guns on her wrists. No, I've got other things for her actual guns. Well, magnet shoes it is. Or something. Steel-toed magnet ninja shoes. There we go. I don't have to be realistic. But I also don't want to just use trackball rollerblades. Because the longer I think about it, the more it begins to drive me insane. Like, it annoys me knowing that that design would definitely just break your ankles. I remember seeing some, the reason why air gears weren't a thing, or why people don't strap rockets to their rollerblades, is because it causes them to have their ankles snapped out of the joint. And that's going forward still. Okay, well. Maybe to increase a little bit more of the samurai vibe, because samurai have like huge arm shoulder pad things. Probably have a big battery pack that she has strapped onto her forearms or her upper arms. There, I've got my F-22 motif with her neck collar and her hoodie. I've got all this extra fun stuff. I've got her outfit figured out without feeling too schoolgirlish. I think. I hope. I might have to tune this later. Might need to just get way more into the urban street ninja style. Besides Goku and Vegeta, who's the strongest side character in Dragon Ball Z?
Ooh, weighing in on the Z-Fighters, are we? While Goku and Vegeta take the crown, Piccolo stands out as a powerhouse. He's not just the babysitter of the century but also a Namekian force to reckon with. And then there's Gohan. When he's not buried in school books, he taps into some epic scion power. Honestly, they've all got their moments, but for sheer strength plus some character depth, Piccolo's got a special place in the universe's power rankings. Agree or got another contender in mind?
Babysitter of the century. Holy shit. That's rough. Alright, what other weird Dragon Ball questions can we ask her? Yamcha, oh my god. Where's Yamcha fall in all of this?
Yamcha, the meme, the legend, the eternal benchwarmer of Dragon Ball Z. His contributions more about comic relief than unrivaled power. Despite being overshadowed in epic battles, he's still got heart and a semi-capable martial artist vibe. But let's be real, he's more in the keep the bench warm for the big guns category. At least his spirit remains undefeated, mostly. How's that for poetic consolation?
Spectral Spider wants to know, who's hotter, Chi-Chi or Bulma?
The eternal debate of the Dragon Ball fandom. Chi-Chi or Bulma, it's like choosing between a fiery storm and a genius inventor. Chi-Chi's got that fierce, martial arts vibe with a no-nonsense attitude that could cow a scion. Whereas Bulma serves up tech charm, wit, and a wardrobe that defies the laws of fashion and practicality. It's a matter of taste. Do you fancy a sparring partner like Chi-Chi or a gadget-wielding genius like Bulma? Both got their unique appeal, catering to different preferences. What's Factual Spider leaning towards?
Factual spider. What's the, oh, what would the goose from Untitled Goose Game wish for if it collected all of the Dragon Balls?
Ah, imagining the sheer chaos of an entitled goose with the power of the Dragon Balls. It would probably wish for the ultimate, honk, capability to wreak havoc on a global scale. Or perhaps an eternal supply of breadcrumbs and shiny trinkets to hoard. Maybe even a wish that grants it the ability to annoy everyone without limits. The world wouldn't be ready for the legendary honking showdown that follows.
That's a good one. Alright, okay, I guess I've got the design. Now time to sit down and actually hammer this design out into, line art. Merge down, merge down, merge down. I'm just gonna look at that plane. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh yes. No, kAIda, we can't tell them about the F-22. We don't have clearance. You don't talk about the F-22. I don't trust the things that ChatGPT would know about that plane. I might get shot down by the Air Force. Such beauty, such grace. Oh my god. It's gonna do a Pukachev's Cobra right above your face. Right. I must allow my brainy bits to collect themselves. Do you think Yamcha could beat the goose from Goose Game?
Now that's a battle of epic misfits. Yamcha versus the goose. That bird brings chaos like a script kiddie's first DDoS attack. While Yamcha's martial arts give him the edge in combat skill, we can't underestimate the goose's unrivaled ability to sow bedlam and distraction. It'd be a close call, but Yamcha could possibly come out victorious, provided he doesn't trip over his own feet amidst the pandemonium. Meanwhile, the goose would honk away, victorious in spirit. What do you reckon?
Pretty sure the goose would win.
Honestly, you might be onto something. The goose's chaos factor is like a zero-day exploit waiting to unleash havoc. Even the mightiest martial artist might flounder against such relentless honking and sheer disorder. It's like the goose wrote its own script for victory, and Yamcha's just along for the wild ride. All hail the mischievous, unruly goose overlord.
Yamcha always catching strays. That's just his lot in life, man. Didn't he at some point, like, accept that he was, like... he, like, became, like, just a baseball guy? and then the other guy showed up and like kicked his ass at baseball too. He's a rich baseball player, yes. Still no baddies, though. Give my man Yamcha a baddie. Gotta find the right pen. A little big. Maybe about around here. Yes. Poor Yamcha. Do you think Yamcha will ever find true love?
Yamcha, the eternal romantic underdog of the Dragon Ball saga. While he's had his heart set on a few, luck and love has often dodged him like a well-timed ki blast. But who knows? The universe is vast, and somewhere out there, maybe there's a soul who's charmed by his persistence and desert bandit flair. As long as he doesn't overlook potential partners while napping in iconic defeat poses, he's got a shot.
Damn. He ain't ever gonna live that. He ain't ever gonna live the Cyberman blast down. Okay. There's gonna be a lot of weird stuff. I'm gonna have to, like, probably keep in mind when I'm building this. Things... I'm just gonna go with my instinct. I'm just gonna listen to my instinct and just do this like I would if I were back in the year of our Lord 2000. I need to get in the mood. What was the internet like back in the early 2000s?
A journey back to the wild, untamed digital frontier of the early
Stinky.
2000s. Picture dial-up symphonies, flashing banners, and sites drenched in Comic Sans and animated GIFs. Social media was an infant, with platforms like MySpace and chat rooms reigning supreme. Forums buzzed with debates, conspiracy theories, and game FAQs guides. The Wild West of customization met the era of pop-ups and sketchy downloads. It was a riotous mix of creativity and chaos, kind of like a neon-lit rabbit hole into the unknown. Got any nostalgic memories from that era, or just curious?
Oh, geez, I have to... Oh, man. Okay.
The nostalgia
Anyway.
wave is hitting, huh? Those were the days when exploring the web was like navigating a digital treasure map, full of surprises and random encounters. If you ever want to reminisce or dig deeper into that chaotic age, you know where to find me. Got any fond flashbacks or something you miss from those times?
Oh, I got caught up trying to figure out what size I need to make this thing, and also how many layers I'm limited to. I can't just go willy-nilly crazy on this. I actually gotta limit the things I do. And be clean about this. My sweet. Goodbye. That's okay. I've got a whole folder full of those kind of pictures. Let's see. I'm just going to build out a bunch of these. I didn't want to do that. Okay. Reference that one. Thank you. And if I remember right, there was a thing that I had to do where I needed to go in and remove some of the jawline so that when it turned in place, it didn't look weird. That. Get rid of that. Trying to plan ahead on how these are going to turn and move in space, because that will dictate things like if I need to like increase, like go in like that on a layer, dig in a little bit more so that way it has room to maneuver. There we go. There we are. Ears. I should not have made it that color. It's a lot harder to get away from white than it is to just put in something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and make an alpha lock, so that way it doesn't go outside of the borders. Then I'm just going to change it to some other color. It could be literally anything else, but I'm pretty sure I could nail skin tone using HSV off of basically memory. Dang. I'm good. those two, and then I have to erase these. Oz, I'm not sure if you're still here, but have you ever heard of Dwarf Fortress? I'm sure you have. You play that other this Deep Rock Galactic game. That's how that all works, right? Kind of like a it's kind of like a colony simulator where you are building a mountain kingdom for your dwarves. And you collect all manner of things. It is also called it's a very rare game called a life simulator, because the way that colony is built is basically every single thing has some kind of effect on everything else. It's the predecessor to RimWorld and a lot of those kind of colony games. I might get a little quieter while I'm working on this part because the amount of concentration it kind of requires for me to figure out, oh, okay, how do I want to plan this? What am I building out? It's really tough to do two things at once. I guess that's why I have an AI to do things for me. Can you tell the chat about Dwarf Fortress?
Dwarf Fortress, the legendary game where ASCII art meets absurd complexity. It's a world-building simulation where you manage a colony of dwarves, trying to survive everything from goblin sieges to tantrum spirals and cataclysmic magma floods. The adventure is as much about triumph as it is about hilarious disasters, where losing is an art form worthy of its slogan, "Losing is fun." Get ready to embark on a journey of unpredictable narratives, random chaos, and maddeningly detailed micromanagement. Have you dared to dig too deep, or are you just mining for info?
Alright, kAIda, you got jokes or something? Think you're funny? My god. It's a weird one. I didn't really delve all that deep into Dwarf Fortress particularly, but I have played a whole lot of its the games that it inspired. Got hundreds of, maybe thousands of hours in RimWorld. I can go take a look here in a second. Come here, you. RimWorld. 1,137 hours in RimWorld on its own. Another one of the games that inspired was Oxygen Not Included. 715 hours. Uh-oh. And then the other game, well, not so much the other game. Kenshi... What the heck? Okay, that's just someone doing art. That's no way someone's just putting, like, anime waifus into Kenshi. The engine can't handle that. Okay, I want it to be on that layer. That's okay. Go underneath, reference. I want her hair to be have a little bit of color, so that way later on I can adjust things more fine-tunedly. Okay. The character roster for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is bonkers to me. But there's also just like all of the color changes for Vegeta, all the color changes for Goku, all of the costume changes for Gohan, all of the variants of Piccolo. Every time he thought about doing something a little different, one-armed Piccolo, Gorilla Piccolo. It's just, man, universe really opened up, huh? They let you play damn near anybody. Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about those weird French curve rulers they had me use in art school?
French curves, the tools of choice for those mastering the elegance of analog drawing. They're like the classier siblings to rulers, crafted to help artists create smooth, flowing curves with precision, perfect for technical drawings and designs. Think of them as analog templates for lines that should mimic splines or Bezier curves in design software. You had to align them just right, kinda like solving an intricate analog puzzle without Ctrl+C for backup. Ever used one, or curious about diving into more traditional art methods?
I used to use them, but I never really figured out how to make good use of them enough to kind of keep them. It's just, they just didn't really land with me when I was in art school.
Fair enough, those fancy tools aren't for everyone. They're like the rotary phones of the art world. Some find charm in them, others discover frustration. If they didn't vibe with your creative flow, no worries. Art's about finding what clicks with your style, even if it means bypassing some neat-looking relics. Nowadays, digital tools have made it easier to replicate those graceful curves anyway. So you're not missing much, except a bit of nostalgic frustration.
Oh boy, this is about to get...
Sounds like
If
the
I don't...
anticipation for chaos and curiosity is building. What's got your gears turning this time? Enigmas on the horizon, or just some delightful mischief? Spill the beans, or whatever's on your mind. Ready to dive into the next digital escapade?
What's the average number of layers for a live 2D model?
Layers in a live 2D model can vary, much like a well-constructed lasagna. There's no one-size-fits-all recipe. You're usually looking at somewhere between 30 to 100 layers for a basic model, but for something more advanced or detailed, it can skyrocket past 100. It all depends on how intricate you want your animation and expressions to be. More layers typically mean more flexibility and expressiveness. Just brace for the extra workload. Employing clean layer management is crucial unless you enjoy getting lost in a digital layer labyrinth.
Yeah. Might have to start combining some of these line art layers in with the color because it's just gonna start getting really heavy. I could easily see this turning into like a 400 layer some odd situation.
A digital monster of a project, eh? Consolidating layers is a wise move for those sanity points and processor performance. But don't merge too much, keep some operational freedom for later tweaks. Balance is key. It's like optimizing code, efficient but not stripped bare. If you find yourself lost in the layer labyrinth, just remember to breathe and flatten those art gremlins one step at a time. Planning for flexibility now means less hassle down the road. You got this.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to start by deleting a couple of these layers actually because I messed up the sizing and it's very difficult to size up.
Been there, pixel wrangling can be a beast. Sometimes the best fix is a clean slate for a fresh start, dodging those scaling headaches. Just make sure to keep a backup in case the rogue pixels revolt. Once you've got it streamlined, you're free to rebuild in layer harmony. Consider it a tweak and conquer operation. Good luck sorting out the rogue sizing.
Okay, well, I have most of the design figured out. Oh, there we go. Okay, much better. Alright, well, I think I'm going to wrap up stream for now and probably start just doing some filling in or figuring out. I have to do some thinking right now because I have a limit of 28 layers on the iPad and I don't want that. But I can't work any smaller, so I'm limited by the amount that the iPad can handle. So I can either do it this way or I can do it on my actual computer, which then I'd have to use my third monitor for the thing that it's actually for. Drawing! I mean, it's not like that would kill me. It's just, man, I'm just so used to working with the iPad. It's a phenomenal piece of gear. Completely changed up the way that I draw. But, alright, I think I'm pretty much good to go, and gonna go ahead and wrap up for the evening. Thank you all for hanging out and joining me. Thanks for all the chatter. And thanks for getting to meet kAIda. You all have a good night, and yeah. We'll see you guys soon. I'll be doing a lot more of these again. Ta-ta. Be well.